We have DC Douglas. Erica Schroeder. We've got Robert McCullum. Let's be frank, these guys have done so many different projects and shows, movies. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. They're absolute pros. We'll start off with Rob.
Hello. I am Rob McCollum from Dallas, Texas, and I am the voice for One Piece purposes of Doflamingo. Also writer Ron from Attack on Titan, Stain from My Hero Academia, Jalal from Fairy Tail, others. What else? Who am I forgetting? There's others. Look them up online. It's great.
I know, right? Sometimes it's better for you guys to introduce us. I'm Erica Schroeder. I'm New Yorker, representing the East Coast, and I was the original English language of Luffy in One Piece. And then I got to come back on the Funimation version and voice Miss Buckin, which was an awesome surprise and fun thing to do. And then also a lot of the evolutions in Pokemon and 60 plus Pokemon. So Eevee, Flareon, Sylveon, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician Girl. You like Dark Magician Girl? My Valentine, everyone check out the video I made on Valentine's Day because it was for my Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans. And Akiza Izinski. And Blaze the Cat in Sonic the Hedgehog, Emma Frost in Astonishing X-Men, and a bunch of other wonderful, fun things that I've had the privilege of voicing over the years. And I'm going to pass it off to you, darling.
I haven't been in all those things. I'm DC Douglas. I am known for Legion and Mass Effect, the trilogy, Albert Wesker in 9 games for 12 years. You don't seem to care about that, so let's move on to anime. I have been Honkai Star Rail as Svarog. All right, a lot of Honkai fans here. I'm losing it. All right, One Piece, X-Drake. There you go. I knew we'd find something. Oh, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as Yoshikage Kira.
How you doing, everybody? Okay, I'm a London boy, Craig Fairbrass, original voice of Ghost, Gaz and Warcraft in Modern Warfare 1, 2 and 3, Battlefield. And now I'm currently being seen as Chef Zeph in the live action One Piece. Beautiful show, lovely people, but let me just say, what a fantastic turnout. Proud of you. Thank you.
Of course. So I watched the live action One Piece with my family, with my son and my husband. My daughter didn't watch it, she's so busy doing other things, but believe it or not, it was not Luffy, it was Wobbuffet. That one really was a doozy. There's a doozy on my voice because it wasn't just me, I was taking over for KZ Rogers, so I had to do her version of Wobbuffet, which was very difficult on my vocal cords, I gotta be honest. As far as difficult, like mentally, probably Blaze the Cat, but I feel like the result was really good because, well, not, I shouldn't say good, it was layered. We had a lot of chefs in the kitchen, as the case would be. A lot of people giving input is a wonderful thing when they're all saying the same thing. When they're saying different things, as an actor, you have to figure out, how do I make person A happy, person B, person C, person D, and honor the performance and honor the character description. So that was the most difficult for Blaze, but once I figured it out, I felt really, really good about it. So, and I'll pass it on to...
Mine would be for, anybody know Ultraman? The show? There you go, you're awake, I like it. So I did a character called Ito, and when I got the audition, it was the Japanese that they sent me the file to listen to, and in that voice, they in the what do you call it? In the engineering of it, they would slow his voice down and then speed it up and then slow it down, and I'm like, oh, so they'll do this in post. And I email back and I go, I assume you do that in post. And they email back and they go, no, actually, they don't want you to do that in the session. And I went, but you could do that in, so I had to learn how to do this with my voice while I was talking to you. And make it make sense and not be just one rhythm. And so for all my, yeah, it was, and also fit the timing of the Japanese lines. So that was, it was a challenge, and I really thought I should have gotten a Behind the Voice Actor Award for that. Anyway. Did you? Hey, yay! I was Ito, I was the alien that started the whole, I was the big villain at the end. Yeah, so.
I've been very lucky. None of mine are hard, because it's usually they just want me to do my voice. So, and I'm not as talented as these three guys who can do the whole range, so I've been very lucky.
I did a Dragon Ball character named Hirudegarn, who just screams, and then they pitch shift it really low and modulate it. So it was just destroying my voice for several days. But the interesting thing was, he's in the new video game just recently released, and they wanted to bring me back, which was very kind, because any human going raw could be pitch shifted and they would work. It could be any one of you in the thing, but they were very kind, so they would let you do that. I was like, great, can you send me a reference? Can you play me back some of the old footage so we can hear? They're like, we have no reference track of it. That was back when Funimation was 3/4 inch tape to 3/4 inch tape, translated over, played live on the broadcast. There's no digital copy even in existence of that file. They tried to go on YouTube. They couldn't even find anybody like recording it off of their VHS. So they just said, what do you think you did? And I'm like, I remember I really fried my voice badly. And they're like, we'll do that again. And then we'll just make it.
Come up with the voice, and then how did I memorize the lines?
But how did you come up with the voice for Yoshikage Kira, and were there any like lines that were like tough to record and you had to do a lot of times?
Oh, tough to remember. I'm old, so I forget everything after I do it. So with the voice, actually, it's because it's a little different than the Japanese version. And Mami is who does a lot of the voice casting for Bang Zoom, which is what that was through. She, I came in for the first session, and I did it like I wanted to do it in the first take when he's driving in the car with the, spoiler alert, hand, and being all sexy. And I did it just like I was a suave guy on a date. And then the director, Tony Oliver, thought that she would want the voice done like a lot of the other voices in that show. And he's like, actually, could you be a little more animated, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, actually, I like that. And I'm like, yes! So I got to keep it all in just in that nice range. And of course, when he gets really uppity, you know, when he's, the ego comes, then he gets a little more up here and like that. And then when he's, you know, then he wants to do battle, then he gets to get up on the mic and talk like that. So it was a very easy, you know, vocal range for me to do. And I was just glad that they let us do it. And, you know, Tony Oliver's an amazing director. Trying to get the timing right, and then, like, once he clued into what she wanted, then he found all the good moments throughout that show. That show is so bizarre, ergo the title, but I can't tell you if I remember any of the lines. I just know that his complicated relationship with the hand was funny as heck. I can remember, we got young kids here. And then also it's the cat thing into the plant and the air thing, for those who know. That one blew my mind. So anyway, thanks for the question.
7 pounds.
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I know that, how about I tell you how much money I made in my, first acting job? I was the Easter Bunny at a garden shop. That was my first acting job. I was 15 and my mom worked there, and she was like, my daughter can do that. I actually don't remember how much money I made, but it wasn't very much. And I'll skew this question and say, all of us do different things. Actors have sometimes survival jobs. Several. I refused to work outside of my profession, so I would only take other acting jobs. So once I was a statue at events and parties and stuff like that, and I had to say things like, I was a tree, and I had to say things like, you don't mind if I branch out, do you? Or, have you met my cousin Douglas? Douglas Fir? You know, they couldn't see my face. And one time I was at a party, or I was at this event, and my roommate was there, and he didn't know it was me, dressed as, it was his corporate party. He had no idea it was me. He'd never heard me do this voice before. So the entire night I had him convinced that I was a psychic tree. and he was like drinking a lot. And he was like, oh, the tree knows things. Anyway, you can have a lot of fun, and I made pretty decent money doing these side acting jobs. I'd make like, I don't know, $200 or $300 a night doing that. But it was a lot of hard work trying to be still all the time. Here we go.
I've been acting professionally since 1989, and in the total, I would say it's about $428 million. Though I got a call yesterday, and I have to loan it all to Donald Trump. So
I'm surviving, and there's one thing I was told as a young boy by my father. He said to me, one thing, don't ever talk about money.
Impressed, I love that.
Thank you very much. And my question to you is, how did you get the role to play as the Dark Magician Girl?
Oh, you know what? My memory is not great on this. I believe that I was already voicing or that they knew me as Nurse Joy in Pokemon. I believe, I could be wrong, that Dark Magician Girl was an offer. It's very rare to just get an offer. You usually have to audition. But I believe they were just like, Erica has the right timbre for this, and so we're just gonna have her do it. So I believe it was just an offer. And of course I was like, yes. I had no idea how popular that character would be at all, but it was a beautiful gift. So thank you for the question. Thank you.
Not a problem. Ta-ta for now.
Yes! More applause for this guy. The teacher catches you. So anyways, and also I'm very loyal to my friends. I'm very, very friendly, I'm very outgoing, goofy, and I'm very, very, very loyal to my friends. Like, don't mess with one of my friends in front of me, because you will see what happens. I'm just kidding. All right, that's for you.
that is a very hard question for me because I have my choices between megalomaniac villains who want to destroy the world or pedophiles and sociopaths. So, hey, they cast me. That's all I know. But I would say there's a show called Licorice Recoil. Anybody see that? 3 people, yes! I play Shinji in that, and very...
Ghost from Modern Warfare. I like to keep this for close encounters. Let's do this.
I'm gonna have to add the signature laugh afterwards because I almost never do it, so here we go. I'm gonna be king of the pirates! And someday I'll tell you the story of how he came up with that laugh. There was a workshop, laugh workshop. Here we go.
Doflamingo also does a lot of laughing, but I think my favorite line is, "Don't worry, I'll kill everyone." He loves his life. Live, laugh, love. That's the Doflamingo way. Great
Thank
question.
you.
This really sweet guy. He was like this nice. I'm spoiling this, by the way. If you are about to watch it, I'm sorry, but this sweet next door neighbor who's helping this young lady, and like her parents aren't around much, and he's like this kind of uncle-like figure that helps her and protects her all the way through. And I really liked him. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. He's a good guy. He's a positive male role model. In episode 12, you find out he's the serial killer. And I was personally offended because I really liked him, and I felt like I had been played on. So that was probably the worst for me, is playing a bad guy that I thought was a good guy.
Luckily, I've not had to do that. I've played most of the people I wanted to do. What a boring answer, but I'm so sorry. I can't make it up.
I was trying to vamp in my head. That's a hard question because first off, when you say like worst character, I think of like the characters were horrible people. Well, that's everything I got cast in. And then I was like, okay, so what one was horrible for me to have to perform? And it's like, I'm just glad to be working. So really, I guess I would have to say Azrael and Blaze Blue because this is such a mixed young audience. I can't say things. But if you know Blaze Blue and you know Azrael, you understand. He's all about 3 things: and one of them's food. And also trash my voice having to do that character.
I don't know. I did a reading. As an actor, if you do theater, you do tons of readings and workshops of pieces. And most of the things I worked on I love, but there was this one piece at NYU that I worked on that was the story of Hedda Gabler. And the music was just, now I'm going to feel bad if this person sees it, but I don't think they're in the business anymore. I would be shocked if they were. It just, the songs went nowhere and they were really funny, and there was a scene at the end that made no sense where someone came in with a 12-foot, again, mixed audience, but it was technical. They came in with a box this big and it was a 12-foot whale penis that this character had harpooned, and it wasn't supposed to be funny. It wasn't supposed to be funny, okay? How do you get through that scene when this is a dramatic scene where something like that happens? So there was one other actor and I that were in a lot of musical theater together, and he and I got cast in this show together, and we would just sit there in rehearsals and go like this. Like we were shaking because we were laughing so hard at how ridiculous some of the lines were. Anyway, that's my story. Probably the worst thing I was ever in, and it had an interesting thing come on stage.
I had this idea just because it's a callback to two other questions and also your question, but the jobs that you have to have as an actor to try to survive. You asked about the money. Early Funimation paid $25 an hour, no residual for dubbing. So you couldn't live on that. So all the side jobs, and you talked about all the other side jobs you had to have. I talked about how much I wish I could do a real accent. I was paid to be Dr. Bombay in a pith helmet and safari shorts and walk around the bars of Dallas, Texas as a 20-year-old handing out shots of Bombay gin. Shots of gin are terrible. And walk to tables in a fake British accent and tell the story of Dr. Bombay. I remember in 1404 when it was awful, no scripts, we were supposed to improvise, I couldn't do an accent to save my life, and the only people less interested in talking to you in a pith helmet and shorts than the women in bars in Dallas, Texas, are the men with the women in bars who you're trying to steal attention from. It was not a good gig. That was my worst role. Not anime related. The most pure evil case of, and it's One Piece. It's actually a One Piece question for the first time in a while. That's good. We're back on target. Is my favorite villain and also the most evil villain because he is a pure agent of chaos. I was very afraid that he was going to get like a Reiner tragic backstory where we realized he was wrongly done and it's brought to this place. I played a lot of heroes that have reasons, really good reasons for why they are where they are. Like kind of when Craig's played some of these guys that are like, yeah, they're in a villainy place, but they started somewhere else and became that kind of a human, especially with the gangster films. But Doflamingo is just evil. He loves evil. He likes killing people. He likes being an agent of chaos. And I think that's why I like him, is because there's no softening him. It's nobody's fault but his own.
I'm not sure, but one that is coming to mind and just kind of lovable evil. Did anybody ever see Secret Magic Control Agency? It was on Netflix. It's like a take on Hansel and Gretel. Anyway, I played Elvira, and she was like a plump Marilyn Monroe, and she would make people fall in love with her by baking them cookies. I just loved the role so much. It was so much fun. She was very like dynamic, and I don't know, I just enjoyed it.
Most of my repertoire again is all evil, so that's very hard. So I will actually go back on a timeline. And everybody know Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Well, the first video game that they did was in 2000, and it was my very first video game job. And the actor who played the Master from the TV show thought video games were beneath him, so he wouldn't come out to do it. So I got the gig, and I got to do the Master in that. And I would say he's a pretty evil character.
That's an easy one. The most evil character I've ever played is in a movie at the moment. It's a black and white art house film. Gerard Johnson, award-winning director. It's called Muscle. Black and white, and I play a bisexual, psychopathic mercenary manipulating, dark, terrifying, brutal character. I mean, when I say brutal, he's up there. Muscle, check it out.
From the first episode of One Piece, I mean.
Oh, I love it. I had so many fun things to say. I really love, I know mine was the gum gum, right? Or gome gome. I love doing those lines in particular, especially in the first couple of video games that I did. I really enjoyed a lot of the gameplay in that. I do like the quote, if you don't take risks, you can't create a future. But I actually don't know if I said that one or if Colleen said it, but I think it's a beautiful line, don't you? Yeah.
I do love that One Piece, especially the calling your shot, saying what you're doing, like do the gum gum when you're about to do gum gum. I wish that was just like a thing in the world, where it was like starting microwave, watering lawn. Like we should just call out what we're doing to make it very clear. That should just be a thing in the world that happens, right? It's a mixed crowd, but it's fine. He wasn't on microphone.
That's great. Thank you. And this is the last question, guys.
I think that the catchphrase "Let's do this" became, synonymous with the games. Yeah. And then the other one is when I played jazz, your shoe skin. Say it. Your fruit killing skills are remarkable. That was another one. There's a few, but it was a long time ago for me. Obviously, the shows have moved on, and all new actors come in and bastards. But
Amazing.
Amazing, guys.